Hi, I'm Loreena McKennitt, and you're watching Toasted.
Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Loreena McKennitt. I live about 80 miles out of Toronto on a farm. And
All right.
yeah.
Enjoy it there in Canada?
I do indeed when I'm home.
For the people who don't know you yet, it's almost impossible because you have a sold-out show already in March. Could you give a short history of what you do and where you're from?
Well, I guess the music is, the root of the music is Celtic. And when I learned that the Celts came from Middle and Eastern Europe as far back as 500 BC, I used that as a creative springboard. But I grew up in Canada. My family history is Scots-Irish.
How did you get inspired by all these Celtic and Irish things?
Well, I heard a group in one group in particular, the Planksty Band from Ireland in the late 70s, I guess, early 80s, and Bothy Band, Planksty, Steelites Band from England, a wonderful harper from Brittany called Alain Stivell.
Yeah.
And those were my early inspirations.
All right, and then from then on, you just really got a fan of that, and then you started singing. And
yes, although I wanted to be a veterinarian, I never dreamed about being a singer. So I maintain that music chose me rather than me.
All right, it's a passion, isn't it?
It does become that. But I didn't know whether I would be involved in teaching music or I would be playing in folk festivals or lounges. But in 1985, when I was through working at the theatre in Stratford in Ontario, which is a Shakespearean theatre modelled after the English one, I thought, well, it'd be interesting to see how far I would go with the traditional music. And I borrowed some of the money that my parents had earmarked for my veterinarian education. Yeah. And I made...
They didn't like that, probably.
Well, they had serious doubts.
Yeah, really? All right.
And I made my first recording in 1 week, and I ran off about 30 cassettes, and I gave them to friends and family.
Nice.
And then I went and busked or played on the streets in Toronto, particularly on Saturday mornings. And I sold the cassettes, and I raised enough money to do my next recording in 1987. And then I started doing concerts in church halls and libraries.
And it all started
growing like that.
Bigger and bigger. And
yes.
wow.
And till the success of my third recording in 1989 drew the attention of a number of major record companies, and then all of a sudden the project went on bigger, yeah. Internationally.
Yeah, but was it easy for you when it all just started off?
Was it easy? I suppose in some regards it was a natural extension, although the growth did move from about 35,000 to, in the hundreds of thousands. But I've also been involved in the business side since the beginning. Yeah. And so that has really helped me keep my feet on the ground, I think. But still, it has been challenging in some ways.
That's why you produce your own album. You produce your own albums now, isn't it? Just to be like on top of it all?
Well, it began, it really is an extension of the way the project began, because I produced my first recording and then my second and third. So by the time I started interfacing with a major record company, I had not only a history of being able to do that and prove that there was an audience, but I had developed the financial capacity. So that allowed me to strike a different deal with, at that time it was the Warner Music Group.